Hi, I am Cindy Bro, your host of The Kindness Advantage, where in 10 minutes or less, I give you ways to implement kindness not only into your business, your organization, but your personal life as well. Today, the topic is still on bullying, but I'm moving into the workplace. Did you realize that 76 million Americans are affected by bullying in the workplace? 30% of the adults, American adults, say that they are being bullied or have been bullied at work. And 61% is by the same gender who is bullying them. And another alarming statistic that I uncovered was 43% of remote workers are bullied. Now, since COVID, we know that the amount of remote workers has increased. So I imagine that that number is probably a little bit bigger. Maybe you don't think that you have been bullied at work because maybe you don't understand exactly what bullying means in the workplace. So when I was doing some research for this episode, it surprised me actually because I didn't think that I was necessarily bullied ever at work when I worked in corporate America. But after going through some of my research, I have in fact been bullied at the workplace. So let's start off with what is the definition of workplace bullying? So it's hard to give you specifics when you don't or try to understand the specifics around workplace bullying if you don't understand the definition. And some people might take it as, well, they're just being criticized for their work. It's not personal, it's business. Well, there is a distinction. So workplace bullying is a persistent pattern of mistreatment which can come from various forms. Now, that could be verbal, psychological, and physical. It's not like constructive criticism. And like that, when you are told that maybe you did something incorrectly in the way you're approached about it, good constructive criticism actually is meant to increase or change, improve upon your performance. Where bullying is like demeaning and belittling and embarrassing. So there's two totally different actions that come from bullying versus constructive criticism. So, what are some things that, like, now that you know the definition, right? Persistence, a pattern of mistreatment, and it could be physical, verbal, psychological. So, how do you pick that out? So, it's not always obvious, like I just said, because some people might think, well, they're just, telling me that I didn't do something properly, right? That's not really bullying, but it's how they do it, right? The actions. So constant criticism, belittling comments, excessive monitoring, assigning impossible tasks, especially like giving you time limits that don't even make sense, manipulation, exclusion, shouting, yelling, those are more obvious, right? Passive aggressive behaviors, um, undermining achievements, ignoring someone's contributions, and even going to the extreme like threats and public humiliation. So what does workplace bullying sound like, right? Like I just gave you a whole bunch of things that it could be, but for me to connect the dots, I need to know what it sounds like, right? So toughen up. You're overreacting. You don't want to work here? Fine. Plenty of people do. Leave. I'm going to make your life a living hell if you don't do X, Y, Z. He treats everyone like that. Just laugh it off. You won't last. You're too sensitive. So Those phrases, I'm sure you've heard in the workplace. Maybe not directly towards you, but maybe you've heard them said or spoken, right? That's so wrong. And we need to be aware of what that looks like in order to take the next steps, right? I know for me personally, I have been excluded from meetings. I have been thrown under the bus, I like to say, where somebody basically took my idea and claimed it as their own and did it actually right in front of me. It was the day I realized that I was no longer going to take that kind of treatment, and I ended up quitting because I knew eventually the person that stole my idea and threw me under the bus would be my boss, and there was no way I was working for somebody like that. So understanding these signs, understanding these phrases really can help us determine, is this constructive criticism or is this actually bullying, right? And throughout the next week or so, I'm going to be sharing some great information on my social media. So if you do not follow me, I suggest that you do. I have it in the show notes for you to easily connect with me. If this resonates with you or kind of gets a little fire burning under you, like, hey, yeah, this is actually happening at my workplace. What do we do about it? How do we solve this? How can I take this back and make a change? Well, I will tell you what makes a change is incorporating a kindness program and not having, people feel like they cannot come to you if they are being bullied. Having that open communication is key in any situation. So, if you see, hear this happening in your workplace, speak up. Pull somebody off to the side and say, that's not cool. That's not how we do it here. Or the person that is actually being bullied, like, hey, I heard that. If you'd like, I'll go with you and talk with your supervisor. Doing those steps. But knowing the warning signs, you can explore it because, timely intervention can actually make a huge difference, not only in saving a great employee, right, but letting people know that bullying does not have a chance here. As I say, kindness works here. So bullying does not work here. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm coming to you next week with a little bit more expansive on the impacts that bullying has on the workplace. And I think you'll be surprised. One of my findings. So if you love this episode, I'd love to hear about it, comment, share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love that too. Again, if you're not following me along on social, do so because I'm sharing some really exciting content based around the workplace bullying. And I'm going to leave you like I leave you every week. Together, we can create waves of change through kindness. Have a great day.